Muscat, oh, it's headed in! Would you believe it? Sydney FC are the champions!
It's the recently crowned premiers, Sydney FC, who will take on the defending champions, Melbourne Victory. Let's have a look at the team news now. And for Melbourne Victory, Tom Ponduliak succumbs to a hamstring injury. Nick Ward comes into his place. Otherwise, Melbourne are unchanged from their major semi-final second leg success. For the visitors tonight, Sydney FC, one change from their preliminary final. John Aloisi makes way due to injury, and goal-scoring substitute Chris Payne will take his place. And at right fullback, Sebastian Roll has seen off the challenge of Shannon Cole to start the game. Your referee for tonight's game is Srebraj Delovski, and your match commentators are Robbie Slater and Simon Hill.
So away we go in the grand final, 141 games, 367 goals this season. It all comes down to this. Dark blue versus sky blue in the biggest blue of all. Which hue are you leaning towards, Robbie Slater?
Well, I think you mentioned it's a huge rivalry. And you said, Simon, that we've waited 5 years for it to happen, and that's exactly right. It's the promoter's dream. We've talked a lot about key individuals, key battles within the game. I think that maybe one place that we have missed is that midfield area. It is so important, particularly in a grand final, to try and control that. And it's a big battle in there. Brebner and Broxham and Michalek is the key to the tempo for Sydney. If they can keep possession away from the danger man, Hernandez.
There is Carlos Hernandez, the current Australian Player of the Year, winner of the Johnny Warren Medal. A few more trinkets besides. He's won titles before, not just with Melbourne, but also back at his native Costa Rica with Alajuelense. And he's looking for another addition to his trophy cabinet tonight. Free kick awarded to Sydney for the infringement on Alex Brosk. And Brosk could be key tonight for the Light Blues, playing in the white jerseys tonight.
Well, no doubt the two up front, Brosk for Sydney and Thompson for Melbourne. They're the two with the pace, and it's the defensive line for both sides, how they're going to play those two players.
Carol Kissel and the Korean fullback Byun on set-piece duty. Plenty of tall timber for Sydney to aim for. Stephen Keller's up there, Colosimo too. It's flicked on towards the far post. And it came off a Melbourne player last, or did it? No. Assistant referee, in fact, indicated a goal kick, but Srebraj Delovski has overruled it.
Well, I thought at first glance that was off a Sydney player. The flick-on's definitely from a Sydney player. No, it was. Good spot from the referee.
Came off Roddy Vargas. So Carol Kissel with the first corner of the grand final. Here is the Slovakian international again, 25 caps. Block made by Lee Broxham.
Yeah, Kissel just trying to move the ball there, not trying to beat Broxham, just trying to make a yard of space and bend it in around behind him.
Carol Kissel to take the throw in as well. He's leaving Sydney FC after this game. Decided to go back to Europe, where he'll continue his law studies. Melbourne on the counter here, looking for Robbie Cruz, maybe undone slightly by a bobble on the pitch there. Pitch has been relayed this week. Caught plenty of criticism in recent months. Looks a lot better tonight. Flynn looking for Chris Payne, who's debutising for the vastly experienced and, of course, injured John Aloisi, and then a clear foul by Kissel on the Thai international Surat Sukha.
Yeah, good little turn there from Sukha, and Kissel just late with the challenge. You're talking about the pitch. I was walking on it before the match with Kevin Muscat. He wasn't too happy with the state of the pitch, particularly on that side you were just talking about where the ball went to Payne. It's very, very soft and sandy underfoot.
Now Chris Payne's gone down behind play. Already the first shots between he and Kevin Muscat have been fired. That's going to be a verbal and physical battle that will rage for the 90 minutes. Payne, the rookie. Muscat, the Rottweiler veteran. Sabrail holding back Surat Sukha, hence the free kick.
He gets a few boos, but he did play full 90 minutes last year in the grand final. There's Kevin Muscat Just a little, how you doing?
Oscar just guiding the ball back to his goalkeeper, Mitch Langerak. Kevin Muscat, 36 years of age. Lots of speculation as to whether he'll retire after tonight's game, at least domestically. He's got that Asian Champions League campaign to continue with. Not quite the oldest player in a grand final. That honour still belongs to Milan Ivanovic, who played at the ripe old age of 38 some years ago. I think he's on the Melbourne coaching staff these days. This is Nicky Ward. Broxham skips past McFlynn, drives for the byline, and Bjorn concedes the corner.
You see, he picks up the ball, he skips around McFlynn, shapes the cross there. Bjorn does well coming across, blocks that cross.
Shorts, corner kick, Cruz across the face of goal. Down goes Nick Ward's. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty kick, not heeded by Strebray Delovsky. Ryle looking for and finding Alex Brosk. He's getting plenty of stick from the Melbourne fans, who felt he dived for the penalty kick in the major semi-final a week or two ago. That's high, wide and handsome off the boot of Bjorn. He's only ever scored 2 career goals.
Opened up for him, Alex Brosk. It was a beautiful ball from Sebastian Ryle over the shoulder of Leia, and Brosk peeled off into that space. He loves that left-hand channel, Alex Brosk.
Bridge just in a bit of a hole on the centre circle. It's not a bad drive by Alex Brosk. Not too far wide of the target.
No, good play. And Mark Bridge pulled off into the little hole there, found himself in space. That's a beautifully weighted ball for Alex Brosk, who takes it first time. I'm just wondering there whether he could have taken it on. It was Kevin Muscat chasing him.
Cruz allowed to turn. Whole bank of white jerseys up ahead of him, and this time Strebray Delovsky does blow for the free kick. And it's in a good position for Melbourne Victory.
But it was just a clumsy challenge, really. Robbie Cruz really getting the ball stuck between his feet. Cassell coming in the back. There's a little tap there, and it's probably the right decision.
Well, there's no prizes for guessing what's going to happen from this set piece. Carlos Hernandez is the dead ball specialist, and he's scored a fair few from these sort of distances in the past. Hernandez curls it, and it wasn't too far away. 27 metres out from goal. Clint Bolton watched it all the way. Would he have got there, Robbie?
I think he had it covered.
Angulo, now Cruz, right on the shoulder of Colosimo, onside, squares it up for Hernandez. Nicky Ward's driven towards goal by Broxham, who's never scored for Melbourne. Now he's got to scamper back because Sydney have got a break on here through Bridge. That's a good challenge by Leia, and he was caught by Bridge there. Assistant referee spotted it on this near touchline, and the Melbourne bench are on their feet again. They feel they're getting the rough end of the stick here from the officials, and Leia was certainly caught late by Bridge.
He comes in there with the studs up. It's not the leading leg that hits Leia, and you see Leia grabbing the left knee. Leia's clear favourite. Bridge lunges in. That's a very dangerous lunge.
Now, Strebray Delovsky, what does he do here? He's issued a yellow card to Bridge. We had a red card very early in the grand final last season, given to Cristiano of Adelaide United. Bridge has escaped with the yellow. Melbourne, by the way, statistically the most foul team in the Hyundai A-League this season. Adrian Leia's back on the park for the victory. He's up and about and okay. This is Robbie Cruz. Telepathy between he and Hernandez, not quite on the same wavelength.
Yeah, Hernandez just can't get into the game at the moment. He's got the drift out there to the right-hand side, and as you said, Robbie Cruz wasn't on the same wavelength as he just tried. He thought Hernandez was going to continue his run, but he held it. But Hernandez, when he's in the middle of the park, it's really been nullified, particularly by Michalek.
Now here's Seb Ryle getting forwards down the right side for Sydney. Kissel on the volley, had no real control over the ball.
Now that was a shot. He's looking to hit that one first time.
Adrian Leyer, who this time last year was fighting a relegation battle with Norwich City during his latter days in England. There's the Victory fans in fine voice. Bremner finding Cruz. Nicky Ward on the right. It came off the shins of Colosimo. Melbourne corner.
No, Colosimo did well again. He's done that well, Colosimo. He's just slided across when he's had to this evening, and he's made a few very good tackles as he...
Lee Broxham to feed in the corner. He's taken it short to Angulo and back again. Now Hernandez, who just peeled away and got a couple of metres of space, but again leaning back rather than into the shot.
And had to hit it across his body as well, so he had a couple of things to think about. But that's his first shot, probably do his confidence a bit of good. Take the short corner, Lee Broxham. And there, it's a good pass back to Hernandez across the body, but just slightly leaning back.
Broxham finds the route to goal blocked. Sydney very compact. Hernandez flicks it through though, touched by Angulo, and it's Colosimo who's there again for Sydney. Sydney wanted a foul there by Muscat, not given. This is Angulo, tees it up. A real shank off the boot of Nicky Ward. And Seb Ryle clears it, none too convincingly though. Back with Surat Suka. Hernandez, another back heel. Surat. Again, Sydney, strong, determined, organised, focused. Kissel, Payne, onside. It's a narrow angle, but it's tipped behind by Langerak, and that was a good counter by Sydney FC.
Yeah, I think that was going in. Question of offside. Roddy Vargas was asking the referee's assistant, but you play the whistle. You see here he's got his hand up to the referee's assistant. I think because Chris Payne's got every right to go for the shot. Bridge was coming on, but he didn't see him on the back post, and that's a good touch from Langerak. That was going in the far corner, across his body, and Langerak with a real fingertip save.
The whistle wasn't blown for offside, but Sydney have the corner. There is Chris Payne, the protagonist in both the offside decision and the subsequent shot. Bjorn's corner, up goes Keller. Osimo's there too. Back for Bridge, who drives it low and hard. Now Kissel. Sydney still have numbers, including Keller. Melbourne can't clear the lines. Oh, Bridge and Kissel get in an awful mess. And now Bremner. Looking for Hernandez. And Melbourne get the throw-in.
And that's where you needed Archie Thompson. It was a good ball from Bremner, but Hernandez just hasn't got that electrifying pace.
Tempo's starting to quicken somewhat. This is Grant Bremner. Broxham a bit far for Hernandez. Oh, he manages to find the space superbly. Hernandez, Cruz and peeled off. Here's Surat. Just a metre or two over the top from the Thai international.
He takes it first time, Suka. It's the best move so far and the best chance for Melbourne. Bit of Hernandez brilliance down the right-hand side. Watch this, the run in behind from Nicky Ward. He just lifts over the pass. It's over the top from Robbie Cruz, and decent power on the strike from Suka, but just goes over the top of the bar.
Maybe they'll be able to launch the last attack of the first half here. Chris Payne has got pace, but he hasn't got the delivery, sadly, for Sydney.
Right idea, though. Looking for the run of Alex Bross, but got past Roddy Vargas. Used his body well there, Chris Payne.
So there we go, the first half over and done with, and perhaps as we expected in two teams as closely matched as these, it's scoreless at the break. And half-time at Etihad Stadium, it's Melbourne Victory 0, Sydney FC 0. after the false start. It's Sydney FC who get us back underway. They're in the white jerseys, kicking from right to left on your screen in this second half. And hopefully, Robbie Slater, there's a bit more room for the flair players to operate in this second period.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't hold your breath on that one just yet. Very cagey that first half, and
there's perhaps an early chance for one of those flair players, Alex Bros, but he was on his heels, really. Awkward ball to control.
Yeah, that's why I stopped, because the ball went into Alex Bros, because you said that. But no, it's been in the midfield, and it's been a big battle in there. And you'd have to say, as you said, Levitska would be the happier of the two coaches. I think they've slightly dominated in that midfield. They've allowed Hernandez little ball, really.
Here's a chance for Seb Ryle to pick out a target in the middle. Too high for Brosk. Back in by Mushalik, and a shot by Bridge stings the palms of Mitch Langerak. Corner for Sydney FC.
Well, it's just a snapshot. Takes it on the volley. Mark Bridge, little nod back from Alex Brosk, and he gets a good clean strike. Here's the little nod back. Snapshot, Broxham coming in, and that's a good save from Langerak, diving to his left-hand side. Good technique from Bridge.
Sydney in front of the travelling fans, clad in sky blue, but they've rather wasted that corner kick. Hernandez bringing it clear, holding it up. Nicky Ward's being brought into play. It's a super pass for Robbie Cruz. Needs some help. Robbie Cruz has been quiet too.
Yeah, well, he's missing his partner, isn't he? And that sort of break there, the good ball from Nicky Ward, but Cruz was completely isolated.
Now it's with Angulo.
Oh, that's an awful pass. Just needed to guide that one in front of Cruz, and much too much weight on it.
Not too far behind.
And all midfielders.
There you go. Now Cruz. Can't miss him today in those bright yellow boots. Lee Broxham to deliver this corner. Again, he doesn't get the best purchase. Here's Hernandez. That's a better looking centre, and it's off the woodwork with the flags up. It wouldn't have counted in any case. It was Nicky Ward's header, I think. Maybe Roddy Vargas. Wouldn't have counted in any case.
Broxham with the little ball back to Hernandez, and you see he's clearly in an offside position. Roddy Vargas, I think it is. He didn't score anyway. The ball cannoning back off the crossbar. That's a right decision. And the officials, in my mind, have got most things pretty much right tonight.
Bridge finding Seb Ryle, who's got a bit of room for manoeuvre. Kissel, and it's behind by Adrian Leia.
There's a decent ball in from Kissel, and I think he's very pleased. Nobody attacking that ball. I think he's got every right to complain there.
Stefan Keller and Simon Colosimo there to lend some height. It's away by Vargas. Colosimo's down on the turf. Bridge tries for goal, appeals for handball again. Angulo was in the way. Fancy it is going to be a moment like that, a handball, a mistake, an error, a bit of magic perhaps. There's another look at the Sydney half-hearted appeal. Simon Colosimo, by the way, is still down on his haunches inside the Melbourne Victory penalty box.
To the back of Vargas. They play a narrow diamond, so the wide midfielders were team in place. There's the strike from Angulo, that was, straight at Clinton Bolton. Sydney play that narrow diamond, so McFlynn and Kissel on either side of Mushalik and Bridge do tuck in, so you find that their hottest spot is also in the middle.
Colosimo was late there, and he's got to be a wee bit careful. Simon Colosimo already in the book. Kevin Muscat arguing the toss with the fourth official, Matthew Breeze, and Muscat gets a yellow for his verbal complaint. Well, Matthew Breeze, the fourth official, he actually refereed the grand final last year and sent two players off at this venue. Muscat perhaps can't let it go.
Well, you'd have to agree that wasn't a great challenge from Simon Colosimo.
Should he walk for that?
Well,
he's on a yellow.
Well, it's a yellow card offence. You can't deny it.
Here's Fernandez on the turn. It took a deflection. It's bundled home by Rodrigo Vargas. Or is it? Wait a moment. Wait a moment. The celebrations have been cut short because an offside flag has been raised. The Melbourne fans don't know it yet, but it won't count. And Sydney are away up the other end. A big talking point in the grand final. Here's Alex Pross, skips away from Vargas, who was almost the hero. And Sydney have scored at the other end. And this one will count. It's Mark Bridge, who becomes the first man to score in successive grand finals since John and Stadiadis back in the 90s. An unbelievable 60 seconds in the Hyundai A-League grand final.
Well, have you got time to take a breath? It's a disallowed goal at one end, and Melbourne switched off. They were complaining to the referee's assistant. We haven't had time to have a look at it because the play's gone up the other end, and Alex Pross down the left-hand side, there was a massive deflection that took it over the head of Langerak. Mark Bridge was there. You'd have to say he's got it right. He has got it right. Vargas, that's his second disallowed goal. But they switched off. Kevin Muscat dived in on the halfway line. Bross down the left-hand side. The cross is a massive deflection. And Mark Bridge lurking at the back post. Melbourne defence got called ball watching. And he's got the simple task of nodding this one into the back of the net.
Brosk is peeling away from Vargas. Two waiting in the middle, one of whom is Kissel. Just drops onto the roof of the net.
A rush of blood from the captain.
Perhaps Melbourne just switched off. They were celebrating for a few seconds after they thought Ronnie Vargas had given them the lead. Flynn and Muscat, by the way, involved in some verbals there behind play. This is Lee Broxham. Down he goes, right on the edge of the box. Strebre Delovsky right on the spot again. It was outside. This is Kevin Muscat and a little altercation with Terry McFlynn, the two captains.
Muscat's really wound up. And there's the foul from Kissel. It's definitely outside the area.
By a resilient Sydney FC.
It was always set up better for a left-footed player. And he's tried to hit this. He normally tries to bend him, get him up and over, but he's gone for pure power. I think he's trying to hit that with a little bit of the outside of the boot, and he just screwed it off the inside, really, off the instep and away. And only Merrick looks on. He's wondering what they must do to get back into this game. They don't look likely at the moment, you'd have to say.
How much of an impact did that injury for Archie Thompson have, do you think, Robbie?
Oh, massive. You could see it. As soon as he went off, and they just lose that bit of pace up front. Cruz has been on his own. He's been well marshalled by Keller and Colosimo, but Archie Thompson, it was a psychological blow.
He's barely had a kick, Robbie Cruz, has he?
No. Been outstanding, that Sydney defence.
Broxham's worked hard, though, all game, and he's got a free kick for Melbourne.
And in front of them, this guy McFlynn, Charlotte, Kissel, they've worked ever.
Muscat, it's headed in! What a goal! Melbourne are level in the grand final, and it's Adrian Leia with a bullet header.
And the key here is Leia attacks the ball. Muscat takes it. It's got a bit of tail on it, but Leia wants it. He attacks the ball. He gets the perfect angle on it. Everyone's waiting for Hernandez. Muscat comes up and takes it a little bit quicker. And look at Leia attacking the ball. He out-jumps Sebastian Ryle.
Brebner to Berger. Challenge from behind by Keller. Illegal. Free kick Melbourne. Pressure mounting. Yellow card shown to Keller.
Was that Keller or Kissel? It looked like he was showing it to Kissel. Keller ran away. I thought Kissel had one in the first half. His last challenge.
Which was definitely by Keller.
No, it's definitely. Pretty sure the yellow card went to Kissel.
Yep, I think you're right. It's Carlos Hernandez, took a deflection. Was heading goalwards. It'll be a Melbourne corner.
Left standing by that deflection. I think it comes off, was it Alex Brosk? It misses by a wave.
Melbourne fans trying to suck the ball into the back of the net for the set piece. Free header! Oh, and it's over the top. That was a golden opportunity and a chance for Adrian Leia to make himself into an even bigger hero.
Well, it was an easier one than his first one. He hasn't got a challenge. It's another good ball from Broxham to the back post. He loses Colosimo. It's a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's got to work the keeper there. Must hit the target. And again, that weakness from set pieces for Sydney.
Well, you have to credit Melbourne. They have shown champion resolve. And they are the ones who are trying to force the issue before we head into extra time. Gee, they don't want that. They've got to fly to Japan tonight. Here's Aziz Bayic. They want to win it in normal time, Melbourne Victory.
They'll get a corner for that. It's the wrong option from Bayic. I think a rush of blood. The fans behind Clint Bolton's filthy. They're lucky they didn't concede another one.
Hernandez on set-piece duty. Flicked on in the near post and almost bundled home by Aziz Bayic. Sydney are all over the place at set-pieces.
Well, it looks like he tried to head something on the ground. And all he had to do was kick it in.
Goodness me, Sydney have just gone to pieces.
They were in total control, weren't they?
3 minutes to go. Hernandez, good tail on the cross. Bayic peels away, won't keep it in play. Another corner. Well, the play is almost exclusively down at this end of the park.
What was Bayic thinking there? He just needed to volley that home. He's completely on his own.
Towards the near post, and Bolton spilled it this time. Even he's getting nervous. He's normally the coolest customer on the park, Clint Bolton. Oh, and they've given it away straight from the release. Robbie Cruz. Hernandez waits on the edge of the box. Cruz goes on his own. He's got a decent cross, and up goes Angulo. Well, he's not the tallest, Marvin Angulo.
Wound up Melbourne. They're desperately trying to win this in normal time. Sydney are the ones hanging on now. Great ball is from Robbie Cruz. He just stands it up to the back post. Angulo had made his run a little bit too early.
Someone's going to win it in normal time. It's got to be quick. Angulo twisting and turning like a matador. Sydney come away with the ball. Well read by Vargas. Angulo's touch. Hernandez, the two Costa Ricans coming much more into the game. They combine. Hernandez. Wide is Bayic. The crowd rises. Colosimo holds them up, at least for the moment. Still Bayic. And that is the final act in what has been a tense and gripping encounter. In fairness, I don't think you could say it was a game that ever really hit the heights. But there were some big talking points. Rodrigo Vargas's disallowed goal. And then straight up at the other end, Mark Bridge putting Sydney in front. But Adrian Leia saved the day for Melbourne, who won't have wanted extra time given that they've got flights to Japan tonight. But extra time is what they and what we have. Full-time scoreline in the grand final. At the end of 90 minutes, Melbourne Victory 1, Sydney FC 1. That's a late goal by Adrian Leia. Does at least mean from Melbourne's point of view that for now they maintain their proud record of never having lost a finals game. Is that about to all change? Sydney for so long thought they had one hand on the trophy, and it wasn't to be, at least not yet. So away we go, 2 periods of extra time, 15 minutes each way, and if teams still can't be separated, then we'll have all the drama of penalty kicks. And there's no doubting, Robbie Slater, that it was Melbourne who finished the 90 minutes the stronger of the two teams.
Oh, they had the momentum, and Leia with that free header at the back post, Bayage with that chance. It was all Sydney before that, and then all of a sudden the momentum swung and they were the ones that had it. So quite often it swings again when it goes to extra time, so we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows what we're going to get. I mean, as you said, it was certainly no classic, but it did come to life in the second half, this game.
Sort of characterised the meetings between the two teams this season. Who will be the champions for season 5? Flynn finding Byun. Sydney will have been glad of the brief respite, the break between full-time and extra time, to get their minds back together as much as their bodies. It's a foul on Ushalik. He and Hernandez have had quite a tussle today.
Well, they must be the sick of the sight of each other after the last, 5 weeks they've met, 3, this is the 4th time. The Premier's Plate game, we call it we can call it that, and then the 2 major semis.
Talking of fouls, by the way, Carol Kissel's yellow, it was confirmed, was given to him for kicking the ball away after that free kick was awarded by the tackle from Stefan Keller. This is Byun. Broxham sticks out of boots, drops for McFlynn. Right 4 for Brost, narrow angle, goal kick.
He's had a good match. He's looked by far the most threatening player for Sydney. Especially that period, that 25-minute period in the second half where they really dominated Sydney.
Hernandez still being watched very tightly. Now it's Berger, and Seb Ryle makes the block. High five with Shannon Cole. It's a Melbourne corner.
Which Sydney have had a lot of difficulty defending from set pieces. They've conceded from a set piece.
To the near post, it's flicked on. Byun was there for Sydney. Now the counter could be on. And Berger makes sure that is not the case. Marvin Angulo off the bench, of course, after Archie Thompson's injury. There's his heat map and his stats, Robbie.
Oh, you can see there that he plays right along the line, doesn't he? And he sort of goes everywhere. He drops back into midfield. He's very central in his hot spots, but you can see that he's someone that does like to go and look for space. I wouldn't say it's the best I've seen him tonight, but it does show you that he's, he's still looking for the ball. He's covered a lot of territory.
Langerak with the clearance. Neither goalkeeper has really had a busy night. Clint Ball perhaps more so, certainly as the game drew towards a conclusion. Here's Evan Berger for Melbourne. With his weaker right boot, and Bolton makes a comfortable enough claim. hole in front of the Sydney defence. Muscat picked him out superbly. Broxham. Berger. Down goes Evan Berger, and Shannon Cole is the guilty man.
Yeah, good little give and go, looking for the wall pass there, Evan Berger. Shannon Cole not happy, but it certainly does take him out there.
We've had a change of ball too. Strebray-Delovsky not happy with the pressure in the old one. Free kick's taken quickly with the new one. And it's wasted.
And Kevin Muscat trying to take it quick again. And he was looking for a runner to the back post, but he overhits it.
Michalek. Oh, he was caught late there, Stuart Michalek, by Evan Berger, and Strebray-Delovsky immediately went to the top pocket. Sydney players angry about that tackle.
Yeah, Michalek going to stroke this out the right there. It's not a good challenge, is it? Comes lunging in there.
So 6 yellow cards issued in the grand final, but thankfully, as yet, no red. Simon Colosimo is going to hang this ball up. Well attacked at that near post by Mark Bridge. Scored Sydney's goal with his head.
Yeah, decent ball in. Bridge attacks that well, and Kevin Muscat was well positioned to cut that one out.
Breaks for Brebno. Now Angulo. Cruz. Hernandez just opened up for a fraction of a second, and he was there for Sydney, but Simon Colosimo again. Michalek's down on the turf, injured. Berger continues, wins the corner. Now Michalek can get some treatment. Terrific play by Simon Colosimo, because Hernandez was just about to pull the trigger.
Well, this is the... Charlotte's just gone down on his own.
So here we go. At least Sydney have got a very experienced man to turn to in a crisis, which I suppose you could call this a crisis for Sydney. Michalek's had a super game in nullifying Hernandez. So Hayden Fox, the veteran, 32 years of age. Will he take over that role of keeping Hernandez quiet or not, Robbie?
I wouldn't think so.
Tough one. Here's Hernandez meantime with the corner. Grant Brebner desperately trying to keep on top of the ball, but was unable to.
Yeah, too much pace on it. It was still rising as he tried to hit that one. Got a good body shape. Maybe Hayden Fox will sit in the midfield and be the one. I think he's the most mobile of players at the moment, Foxy. He's certainly sitting in that position at the moment, so there you go.
Melbourne fans, letting the Sydney supporters know exactly what they think of them. This is Angulo. Into injury time at the end of the first period of extra time, which there will be just the 1 minute, and that minute is nearly up. Here's Robbie Cruz trying to fashion a chance. Bolton's come a long way, didn't get real distance with the punch. Returned by Vargas, but with no accuracy for Melbourne. So there we go, into the first period of extra time. And we are still deadlocked. Melbourne Victory 1, Sydney FC 1. It's going to be a quick turnaround. As a reminder of the scoreline, 1 apiece at the end of the first period of extra time. And there's another 15 minutes to go. And if the deadlock's still not broken, then it'll be the dreaded penalty kicks. The second period of extra time underway. Melbourne Victory 1, Sydney FC 1. Melbourne aiming for their 3rd championship and to become the first club to win it back-to-back. Sydney champions in the first season of the Hyundai A-League. They've had a thin time of it since. Here's those who've covered the most distance. Terry McFlynn, the Sydney captain, leading by example.
And if you look at that, for the first time since we put that this week, in this game, a striker has broken in. Alex Brosk just shows you how hard he has worked across that front line for Sydney.
Sydney backline having to do some work here. Simon Colosimo, who's been impressive throughout, guiding the ball back. Hayden Fox getting involved.
He's a left,
fully recovered from his foot injury.
He's a left winger now.
He can play anywhere, Foxy. Bridge does well to retain the ball.
That's a terrible ball from Bjorn.
That's being kind. Bobby Cruz with the arm in the back of Ryle. Sydney go long, looking for Brosk. Grabner's overhead kick. Colosimo looking for hard-running Terry McFlynn. Oh, that's beautiful stuff by the Northern Irishman. A good recovery too by Leia. Although Strabre Delovsky says that was a foul. There's some afters too. I don't think he's too popular, Terry McFlynn.
No, he's not. I can tell you that for
the Melbourne boys.
Absolute fact. After that, it all comes down to that Cruz tackle, which Terry McFlynn apologised for. And really, you see a lot of times doesn't come out with the same result. Anyway, Cruz wasn't that bad. But what about this turn from Terry McFlynn? This is the best moment in the game, skill-wise. That's Hernandez usually does that. And he goes and gets the foul. Leia says he gets the ball. He does, but does he come from behind? But a beautiful bit. Let's forget about the afters. It's been very niggly, hasn't it? It's been a lot of banter going on out there, a lot of sledging. But that was a great turn, great balance from Terry McFlynn.
Adrian Leia's in a bit of trouble here.
This is what happened to this happened before. Leia, you see there, bridge and behind. That's when it happened. He's hobbled off. Either that or he's doing the triple jump.
Well, Leia's going to have to come back on in some capacity because Melbourne have used all their 3 substitutes. Here's the Sydney free kick. Kissel square. Bridge makes the opening and it's a good save by Langerak. Sydney have the throw-in, level with the penalty box. Not the best ball into the penalty area, though, by Seb Ryle. Drifts harmlessly behind from Melbourne's point of view.
It's the strike from Mark Bridge. Gets it around a lot of bodies and maybe just not enough. That's a good save. And he gets a free kick.
Needless foul too by Kissel. Ball had gone.
Not where you want to be conceding this late on. Angulo on the ball, as you said. really needless foul. He really had nowhere to go. And actually, Shannon Cole had that covered. Just a little bit off centre. Good distance to get it up and over and down. He looks quite, he's been looking quite tired. And he do it.
Here he is, El Zorro. Oh, it was on target.
Clint
Bolton plucked it out of the air.
He read it. That's why. Great goalkeeping. He's on his toes there. And he gambled a little bit on guessing which way he'd go. And he picked it right. He was on his heels. It was in the back of the net.
Now Sydney perhaps with their chance. Mistake, and McFlynn, it might drop for Joe Gibbs. It's going to be a Sydney corner. Oh, but his heart was pounding there. Joe Gibbs, 17 years of age.
It was. The ball was spinning away from him. There's the strike. Carlos Hernandez, you see there the movement sideways. Quick feet from Clint Bolton. We'll talk about saves in the hands for goalkeepers. It's about the feet as well, how quick you move them.
Keller misses the corner at the near post. Comes out for Bjorn. Now Bridge. It's all to Ryle. They are going the wrong way, but I tell you what, they're better keeping possession than hurrying it and giving it away with so little time left. A goal here for either team would win it for sure. Bayich. Throw in for Melbourne. Bayich again. Rather telegraphed that one towards Hernandez. Bjorn with the up and over, looking for Bridge. Layer back on the park, gets there, and then Joe Gibbs is fouled. Rather blatantly by Kevin Muscat.
Welcome to the Hyundai A-League.
Muscat 36, Gibbs 17. I think Kevin Muscat had been a pro for about 4 years by the time Joe Gibbs was born. It's going to have to be a good strike to beat Mitch Langerak from here. Oh, it's not a bad effort, in fairness. Maybe moved a little bit in the air as well. Still, we remain Melbourne Victory 1, Sydney FC 1, and time is almost up. Fox, mistake in midfield. Is this the moment for Melbourne? Hernandez rolls away from the defender, goes through three of them. And Srebraj Delovsky says, get up, it's no penalty. Well, he almost fell on top of the ball there, didn't he, Carlos Hernandez, through sheer tiredness.
He's got a bit of a cramp, I think. 1 minute to go, and we're going to kick the ball out for Carlos's... Oh, they're all dropping now. It's all over.
Penalty kicks will decide the 2009-2010 Hyundai A-League Grand Final.
Well, they're going to kick to the Melbourne Victory fans. And Sydney to take the first one by the looks of it. Simon Colosimo. There you go, the mind game starting already. Mitch Langerak going up to look at the spot and right in front of Simon Colosimo. Colosimo didn't take a backward step. Trick is with a penalty, make your decision, don't change your mind.
And you told us you missed.
Well, there you go, I changed my mind.
Simon Colosimo scores and puts Sydney 1-0 up in the penalty shootout. Good penalty.
Very good penalty. Placement, Langerak goes the wrong way. That's a great start for Sydney FC, nice and confident. Doesn't try to blast it, just placing that. It's right into the corner.
Well, no prizes for guessing who's up first for Melbourne Victory. Kevin Muscat. He's missed. Would you believe it? The professor of the penalty kick has missed in the grand final. That's got to be a big omen for Sydney. The Melbourne fans can't believe it. Well, he never misses.
He sort of stabbed at it, didn't he? But he sends the keeper the wrong way. And it's flush onto the post. Unbelievable. I actually was thinking, why was he taking the first one? Maybe to get them off to a good start. He's the main penalty taker. You see there as he hits it, he sort of skips after it. He wasn't completely confident. And the Sydney bench delighted.
Advantage Sydney. Shannon Cole can increase that. Oh, it's a great save by Mitch Langerak. That is Mark Schwarzer-esque from the young Melbourne stopper.
I was about to say that. What a great save to Langerak. Right, he picks the right way, but still there's not a lot wrong with Shannon Cole's penalty. You could argue it's at a decent height for a goalkeeper, but he dives full stretch. He's hit it with some venom. That is a wonderful save. World-class save in a big moment, in a big match from Langerak.
Sydney still lead though, 1-0. After 3 penalties taken. Grant Brebner up next for Melbourne. Cool as you like, the Scotsman. 1-1.
Had an outstanding game, Grant Brebner. Carries that on to the penalties. Nice and confident, never looked like he was going to miss. Bolton the wrong way. Kevin Muscat, the most relieved man when Langerak saved the last one, but that's a very good pen. Picks his spot, nice and confident.
Here's the veteran, Hayden Fox. Well, a few months ago, he didn't think he'd be involved in a moment as big as this, but here he is. And he puts Sydney FC back in front at 2-1.
Well, sometimes you say it's just safe. I mean, it's not the greatest looking penalty, it's straight down the middle. But given that the goalkeeper's always going to go one way or the other, he's just drilled it straight down the middle. Mark Bosnich is just beside me. He's saying he should have maybe kept his foot up a little bit in the air. Mind you, it's always a keeper's mistake.
Now, Marvin Angulo is up next. He's played in finals football before back in Costa Rica. His former club sides lost out to Deportivo Saprissa back in 2007 in finals football. Big responsibility on the Costa Rican. And it's a great stop by Clint Bolton away to his left. Sydney really have the advantage now.
Well, that's the one that you say, that's at a perfect height for a goalkeeper. If he guesses the right way, you saw the camera on his face there. He didn't look confident. He was puffing out his cheeks, licking his lips. He doesn't hit this with any conviction, any confidence at all.
Because Carol Kissel can really drive home the advantage for Sydney here. Scored against Melbourne from the spot in the major semi-final. This for 3-1. It is 3-1 for Sydney.
It's a great pin.
They're inching ever closer to the championship.
No, it's a great penalty from Kissel. At that height, they're not going to save it. Practically goes into the roof of the net, straight down the middle.
But Melbourne Victory have to score this penalty to stay in the contest.
This Lee Broxham had a very, very good match. The Melbourne Victory midfielder. Big responsibility.
He has to score, otherwise it's Sydney's title. He does score. Huge responsibility.
Good pen. He's not sure about his run-up. It was a bit of a hop, skip and a jump up to it, but he hit it with confidence. He'd obviously made up his mind. Bolton goes the other way. There's the hop, skip. That's in the back of the net, nicely into the corner.
Yep, it's still very much advantage Sydney. If Bjorn, who's never scored for Sydney in normal play, tucks this away, the championship is heading to the Harbour City. It's all on Bjorn and all on Langerak for Melbourne Victory. Bjorn scores! Sydney FC are the champions. The Sky Blues denying Melbourne back-to-back titles to secure their first championship in 4 years. Vitoslav Levitska wins the double in his first season in Australia. And it is the first time an away club has won the grand final, plus a first Sydney success in a grand final against a Melbourne team. The golden toilet seat has a sky blue hue once more. Sydney FC, the champions. The full-time scoreline, Melbourne Victory 1, Sydney FC 1. But it's the Sky Blues who take the trophy on penalty kicks by 4 goals to 2.
Last, Mr. Edward Lee, Chief Executive Officer of the Hyundai Motor Company Australia, to present the 2010 Hyundai A-League Championship Trophy. Well done, Sydney FC. Champions for the second time in the Hyundai A-League. We'll let them celebrate and see you for season 6 of the Hyundai A-League.